Sunday night against the Patriots. This week, they'll take on the Miami Dolphins team that is looking to break a 3-game losing streak and playing without their starting quarterback. Tom Brady's not looking past the Fins, though. Here he is on his mindset, preparing for the games.
You're never a finished product in this sport, too, because every year is very different. I mean, the opponents are different, and obviously the conditions are different. I mean, look at this crowd noises this year, and whether we didn't have one rainy game like that last year. We didn't have one crowd noise game last year. So we're still learning each other. I mean, continuity is the key in the NFL.
Swaggle Clawn! That's what I'm calling
There
from now.
he is,
I mean,
Sam
this brother just
Otto.
giving out
Loving the shirt tie
MVP
combo. Good to see you,
to
sir.
everybody. You thought the
looks like a
Cowboys
politician.
were going to give me a
He looks great.
to come into
You
the
have a
facility.
great smile. You have a contagious smile, Sam. Good energy. Are you getting jealous?
He's on the Cowboys. I'd be jealous. Get Joe. Let me get mine.
Sam,
Right.
tell me this. Where do the Bucs rank in a very stacked NFC?
Yeah, they're first. The Bucs are first, and it's mainly because of Tom Brady and the offense. I get that the defense is struggling now. Like, we all see that, and we all get that. What we don't see is that Todd Bowles is a defensive genius, and so he will adapt and he will adjust based off of some of those injuries in the secondary. Go back to, 2 years ago, right, when they had a bunch of guys who couldn't really play man. So he said, okay, I'm going to play zone, so you'll figure out how to play man. Then they figured it out, and he got it situated. So Bucs are 1. I have the Cowboys at number 2. I know we're going to have a conversation about this, and I'm excited for that conversation. I believe in the Dallas Cowboys. There's no questions about the offense. I believe in the defense. AZ, I know they're undefeated, but I have them at number 3. They still have a lot to prove. They are a loaded roster defensively, offensively. Kyler Murray has been playing at MVP level, but I still trust, if it comes to like playoffs were played right now, I think the Cowboys would beat the Cardinals if they matched up right now.
Well, I think something's wrong with you right now. Matter of fact, you wouldn't get my vote for office for that soliloquy, that take. I don't know what the hell that's about. Cowboys ain't got no business. Listen, here's the deal. They got no business being stacked ahead of the Arizona Cardinals. When you consider the miniature dynamo that is Kyler Murray, there is no question that this brother's something special, completing about 76% of his passes, okay? The brother is flat out balling, and we know that he's the greatest dual threat in the NFL this side of Lamar Jackson when you consider how he can run the football. So I got a lot of love for Kyler Murray, but then you take into account DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green has been resurrected, Christian Kirk is out there, they can run the football as well. They got a two-headed tandem there, all right? So I look at it offensively, I can look at them in the same fashion. I can look at the Dallas Cowboys and say, excuse me, they can get it done. And then defensively, they got playmakers. And of course, you got Chandler Jones and you got J.J. Watt and those boys. So that's not something that we can ignore either. Then I got to take into consideration when you talk about Tom Brady, listen, for this particular week, because it's fluid, I could have the Dallas Cowboys at number 2. But in the end, I'm looking at Tom Brady and I'm saying, excuse me, the defense is suspect. I can't possibly have Tampa Bay at number 1. I could have them because of their offense right up there, led by Tom Brady. But you got to fix that secondary, man. You could score on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They can't stop anybody right now. New England is not a prime example of that, not in those weather conditions and going up against a rookie and Mac Jones. I'm not getting caught up by that. I'm going to look at what I'm seeing, and I'm going to say, excuse me, the Dallas Cowboys do not get ranked ahead of the Arizona Cardinals. I damn near wouldn't put them ahead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Green Bay Packers are coming, okay? That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, but when you look at what you're seeing, like what I see when I see Tampa Bay, I see guys like Vita Vea dominating. JPP has been injured. The secondary is injured, but you see guys like Shaq Barrett doing their thing. And so defensively, Tampa Bay will be fine because Todd Bowles as well will make it work. That's number 1. Eventually,
that's not now. We talk about right now. What do you mean eventually?
Right
if we're going to go eventually, I could bring up several more teams eventually.
Absolutely. But even right now, with all these injuries, with this banged-up secondary, with no JPP the last few games, they're still 3-1. They're still finding ways to win. They're still making it happen when it counts, even if they have to lean on Tom Brady and that offense. And so whenever that eventually happens and that defense catches up, which we know they will, they'll be better then, but they're still number 1 now. Now to the Cowboys, since we're talking about right now. What have you seen? Tim Tebow told you this. Is it your head or is it your heart? You don't want to believe. You don't want to believe the
That's
Cowboys.
What we doing. That's what we doing. We pulling some stuff from old clips. Do you want to get into that game with me? You want to play that game with me, Sam? I mean, you be in trouble. No, don't let me sick your brother on you now. I just saw him. By the way, I just saw him Monday night at the game. Gave him a big hug. It was good to see my man Emmanuel, all right? But let me tell you something. Just because I got love for the Acho brothers don't mean that you get to sit up there and try to get slick by throwing some old sound at me, because I can get you now. I can get you.
Hey, I have to do it because it's true. If it wasn't true, I wouldn't do it. If you watch the tape on the Cowboys, you know this team is legit. If you look at the film, if you look at their stats,
right.
if you watch their offense and their defense, you might say, oh, they're going to fade or they're going to struggle. But that's the future.
Defense.
Let's look at right now. So they're second in the league in turnovers, number one in turnover margin. Defensively, yes, we know they still have work to do. But when it matters, when it counts, right? They lost by 2 points to Tampa Bay. Otherwise, they'd be undefeated. I'm not going to go to if and buts, but they're still 3-1. So that's right now.
You done started, son. You better call your brother for help. You in trouble. You in trouble, bro.
I appreciate the love. The Ocho family love.
I'm
all about that.
There's more games I got to get to. Still to come here on First Take. We're talking Chiefs and Bills looking squarely at that quarterback matchup. Am I finally going to see the real showtime, or is Josh Allen going to steal the show? Stick around. King Henry and the Titans come to town. Obviously, this week has been filled with distractions after Jags head coach Urban Meyer found himself in a compromising situation after not traveling back with his team, choosing to stay in Ohio, and video surfaced of a woman who's not his wife dancing in his lap. Jags owner Shad Khan said he has to regain the trust and respect of his team. Welcome back into First Take. We are dealing with some technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience, but we are back, and so is Tim Tebow. So, Tim, obviously you have a very close relationship with Urban Meyer. You played for him. What advice would you give to him right now?
Well, I think, first of all, this is a very disappointing, frustrating, and honestly heartbreaking situation. When I first saw and heard about what happened, my heart was hurting for Miss Shelley, Coach's wife, someone that I love very much, and his daughters, who I'm very close with, and who I've talked to both of them this week, and also had the chance of talking with Coach. And it was a very difficult week. And my advice to him was to apologize, to admit it, to learn from it, and to never repeat it. And, Coach shared with me that it was, one of the hardest times of his life. And, he apologized, but he didn't need to apologize to me. I know this has weighed so heavy on his heart, and he is hurting. And I do think, for some of the guys, he will have to earn back their trust and respect. And I think he really wants to do that. This is not something that I think anybody in his family takes lightly. This is a very serious situation. It's a very disappointing situation. But I also know that Coach isn't taking it lightly. And he knows what a big deal this is, how disappointing it is to so many people. And I believe that, he wants to make amends, which is very hard, and it takes a while. That's the thing about a reputation. It takes a lifetime to build and a moment to lose. And, he's someone that I love. I love Miss Shelley. I love all three of his kids. I'm very close with all of them. And, I want to be able to give him the chance to earn back that respect and trust, with at the same time not condoning those actions, but always being someone that gives people a chance to change, to grow, and to be able to earn back that trust and that respect. And I love his entire family, and am praying for them in this hard time, because it's so much bigger than football would ever be.
I want you to stay with me for a quick second, Tim Tebow, because I'm going to say something. I'm going to say a couple of things, and I want to make sure it's clear where I'm coming from. I feel slightly different than you, but I want to explain why. The first order of business that I want to say is this. Everybody that's on this show, I'm not the most emotional dude in the world when it comes to mushy stuff. And put Tim Tebow up on the screen because I want to see him when I'm saying this. You know, I'm not the most emotional dude in the world when it comes to what I term as mushy stuff or whatever. But I love all of y'all. I love you, Molly.
Love you too.
I love Michael Irvin. I love Keyshawn. I've known him for years. Swagoo's my brother. I love him. I love Ryan Clark. I've grown to love Dan Orlovsky and the work that he's done. You know, I know Max isn't here anymore, but I got love for Max too. And I love Ryan Clark. And, you know, I joke around about Tim Tebow being my friend or whatever, but he is. And I love you too, bro. You're one of the best people that I know, one of the best people that I've ever met in my life. And I preface my comments in that regard because I want you to understand, Tim, that